Hello everyone, Irish Warlock here. Today, Bioware put out a post regarding the PC experience for Dragon Age the Veilguard, and I thought I'd give it a quick peruse and go through it just to see what's going on. We knew we were going to be getting details about the PC experience this week, and we can also expect to see some high-level gameplay later on as well. So let's just go into the blog and see what's going on. Hello everyone, today we want to specifically touch on the PC experience for Dragon Age the Veilguard. The Dragon Age franchise started out on PC, and we wanted to make sure PC is a great place to play our game. The Dragon Age franchise actually did start on PC originally, sort of. It released on PC, PlayStation and Xbox, but if you didn't know, it was originally actually made just for PC, and then when EA took over Bioware, they actually added time onto the development for Dragon Age Origins and gave them more time to create a PlayStation and Xbox version of the game. That's why you can see if you play the console versions, you can still see it's very much a PC designed game. The last two games have really played more like console games, so it's good to see they're putting a bit more effort into the PC side of things. Many of us at Bioware are PC players ourselves, and when testing, PCs made up about 40% of our platform testing effort, with over 200,000 hours of performance and compatibility testing. That's cool. 200,000 hours, Jesus, that's a lot. Hopefully that means the game runs and isn't too buggy. 40% for testing seems quite right, I think. I couldn't find any details on what the numbers were for console versus PC for Dragon Age Inquisition, but I do imagine the numbers are more skewed toward console than PC. I know Dragon Age has a massive PC fan base. You only have to look at videos on YouTube to see people using the various different mods, but I imagine it's a lot easier for people to get their hands on a console than it is a gaming PC. Okay, that's that, and then we can see down here we've got this picture where we've got Rook, Harding, Nev and Varric, and we can see Varric's got Bianca here, which means this is at the start of the game before he gets it destroyed by Solus and the Evanuris come back. We know from the original gameplay released, was it like 2 months ago, Jesus, there was like a portion cut out where they're kind of going through the undercity of Minrathos, where they stumble across Solus's base in Minrathos, which I imagine what this is here, and all of that was cut out, so I feel this is where that still is from. We also know this Rook here, who is an Elven warrior. She will be the Rook for the high-level gameplay that we're going to see later this week. So I imagine the gameplay is probably from that early section of the game, and they're just going to up the levels and the kind of difficulty of everything to show off, which is probably the best way to do it, because I mean, it reduces the risk of spoilers for anything, but we still get to see the high-level combat. Let's talk about inputs first. We wanted to ensure the controls and UI are a good experience for KBM and controllers, so we did close to 10,000 hours of user research testing to make sure of it. Dragon Age Veilguard will feature native support for PS5 DualSense controllers, with haptic support in addition to the standard Xbox controllers and keyboard and mouse. Additionally, you can seamlessly transition between controllers or keyboard and mouse. That's cool, while playing or in menus. So, while playing, I can literally click a button and jump between keyboard and controller. There are many different ways to play our game, so in order to tell you to find the most comfortable setup, we've added the ability to customize class-specific keyblinds that you can easily switch between. This means that your Rogue Rook can use a different set of keyblinds to your Warrior Rook if you'd like. Okay, so going through a few things here. First of all, the haptic support. If you're unaware of what haptics are, these are parts of controllers. It's part of Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. Every controller, past, present, and future, or at least past and present, maybe future, uses haptics in some way. Basically what allows controllers to react to what's going on in the game and to vibrate. The PS5 DualSense controller is just a lot better at using haptics because it uses a slightly different version. The kind of tumblers on the inside to help a controller vibrate, they're made and shaped a little bit differently. It's what allows them to be more specific. It's actually the same type of technology they use in speakers, and this allows it to be more precise and respond to specific sensations. So if you've ever played with a PS5 controller before and you felt the vibrations, you notice when the controller vibrates, it feels different from when you're hit to when you're hitting someone, to when you're driving a car, or when you're running and jumping. Essentially allows the controller to respond to different sensations in the game. You can really notice it in like Horizon Forbidden West and God of War Ragnarok. Getting hit in those games by different enemies and different types of attacks feels different in your hands. So that is going to be really great for Veilguard with a lot of variety of enemies and their abilities and such. It's going to be nice that each attack you take and deal out will feel different. So I imagine that will help a lot with immersion. I don't know if it's part of haptic feedback, but a big part of the PS5 controller they went on about was the triggers. If you've never played with a PS5 controller, the triggers can respond differently depending on your action. The trigger can actually resist you slightly when you're trying to press it. So, for example, in Hitman 3, use the L2 button to aim and the R2 button to fire. If you're just throwing something, you press R2, Agent 47 just throws the object he has. But if you're trying to fire a gun, the R2 button resists you slightly to essentially represent the resistance that the trigger has on the gun. I actually don't know if that's part of haptic or not. I tried to find it up, but anytime I googled PS5 haptic controllers, it mentioned both the vibration sensations and the triggers. So I don't know if that's meant to be the same thing or not. On the controllers, when you're playing Inquisition, L2 is used to cycle between your abilities and R2 is used to attack. So maybe if you're using R2, there'll be a slight bit of resistance, but I don't know if that would make a lot of sense. So I imagine when they're talking about haptic here, I have a feeling it's just the controllers. And keybinds there for classes is really, really cool. Keybinds, for any of you don't know, is just the keyboard shortcuts. So press like 1 to do this, 2 to do that, 3 to do that. But it's really cool that you can set up for different rooks. So you can have like, if you got your warrior playthrough, the buttons will do this, and then if you got your mage playthrough, the buttons will do this. I don't really play with PC all that often, and when I do, I'm playing usually strategy games, which are like a bit easier for the keybinds, I think. So I don't know if this is something like, is it in Baldur's Gate? Is it in Mass Effect? Is it in Skyrim? Or other games where you have to heavily rely on keybinds? So if you're a PC player and this just seems like the norm for PC gaming, do let me know down in the comments. But from where I'm standing here, having very little knowledge of how PC gaming works, that sounds really cool. Right, next shot here, but we'll go on and it will pop back up. Also, for the standard resolution options, we also have support for 21:9 ultra-wide monitors. Don't worry, we didn't forget about the cinematics either, just disable the option titled Cinematic Aspect Ratio. This will remove the enforced black bars so you can watch the cinematics in full ultra-widescreen glory. Lucky you people who have the ultra-wide screens. No matter what size monitor you're rocking, you can adjust your FOV, that's field of view, with an FOV slider in the settings. Also very cool. There will be an option for uncapped frame rate as well. We're also launching with full HDR support. Okay, well, all that sounds really great to someone who knows little about PC gaming, but it sounds great. Obviously, ultra wide, I can kind of figure that out by these shots here, so I imagine that's normal and that's ultra wide. And you can see the massive difference there. I really love the shot because it really helps add to the whole scale of what's going on. I would love to see what Minrathos actually looks like in this ultra wide setting because it's just such a great shot, being able to see everything that's going on. Right, and then down here we have these settings. So we can see settings is divided into display, graphics, audio controls, gameplay, interface, accessibility, and other. So pretty much I think that explains what each one does. There's actually a part at the bottom that goes a bit more into settings. There's one part of the settings I really like, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But first, we can just see the different parts of the graphics here, or at least some of it anyway. You can see ray trace reflection, ray trace ambient occlusion, ultra ray tracing, level of detail, strand hair, terrain quality, and terrain decoration quality. Now we can see here at the bottom, this is actually a little video. It's going through low, medium, high, and ultra. And over here we can actually see how that affects the game, which is brilliant, I think. I don't think I've ever seen this on any game ever. Probably will save you a lot of time that you can see each setting having its effect on the world, rather than having to, change one thing, go back out, probably actually refresh the game, because that happens a lot when you try to change settings on PC games. It's like, yeah, then we'll just have to restart everything to get you back up. And you can see the different effect you're having on the world, which is great. I also love this shot of Bellara, and I think everyone's kind of pointed out they love that the sun is actually reflecting through like the top part of her ear, where usually like the skin and membrane would just be a little bit more clear and transparent. Now, the part I also, even though this is PC, you can see here, Y to restore, LT for L trigger. That's been done on an Xbox controller, not mouse and keyboard. Now, one thing I want to talk about here was accessibility as its own subsection in the menus, which is absolutely brilliant. Usually accessibility is kind of buried down in something like, go into gameplay, then click into this menu and there's accessibility, or it's called something else. I love that it's just right here at the start, because accessibility is so important in gaming now. Everything from stuff like, subtitles are accessibility, and color blindness, and controller optimization for people who have fine motor skill issues. It is great to see that Bioware are putting this in. Obviously, we don't get a look at it here, and it actually doesn't appear in the rest of the article, so we don't know how detailed it is. Is it pretty basic? Is it pretty detailed? My gut would say it's pretty detailed. I don't think you give it its own section if it wasn't. Usually stuff like subtitles, which is the kind of the big accessibility one, is in like audio or interface or something like that. But the fact that it has its own section probably means it's pretty detailed, which is really, really great to see. Hopefully, though, Bioware will actually show off what is in accessibility. Maybe in September, because we know we're getting a lot of stuff in September, we just don't know what it all is. So most changes to graphics and display settings are reflected in real time. Yep, we've already seen that. And you can see the impacts of those changes throughout the cutout in the UI. This will help you make informed decisions as you tweak the game to look exactly how you want. For a full list of settings, check below. Okay, yeah. So here we can see, once again, going through different settings, and here is the Shotman Rathos that you would see. Also, you can see the effect here. Oh, that's gone. Let it come back around. You can see here the effect it has on like your CPU and your GPU and your VRAM. So, I said, don't really understand everything. I know CPU and GPU are very important for gaming in general, especially for PC gaming, but I imagine that's really great for you PC players, being able to see the different effect everything has, where you know, kind of like, oh, I can run it at its minimum settings, but I can't run it at its maximum settings. So you know which ones you specifically have to set and change, so you don't actually end up causing any problems for yourselves. Now, we know a lot of you play on Steam, and we want to meet you where you are. We are happy to be completely Steam native for Dragon Age the Veilguard. We're already Steam Deck verified, and with Cloud Save on Steam support, you can seamlessly switch back and forth between your PC and your Steam Deck as much as you want. Really great for everyone who has a Steam Deck. I unfortunately don't, but that is great to see that you're able to basically be playing on your PC, but then if you have to go off somewhere like on a long car drive where you're obviously not driving or taking public transport, you can easily just switch over to your Steam Deck and play there. We also have remote play enabled if you'd rather play on your TV, brilliant. And if you'd like to utilize it, there's a complete optional linking process to your EA account. It is brilliant that you do not need to access your EA account for this game, because oh my freaking god, trying to get the EA account to work and play nice with everything else like Steam or whatever other system you're buying it off is a pain. Anyone who's tried to get Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2 and all of their DLC to work properly on a PC, you know how much of a headache the EA account is. So it is great to see that is optional. So I imagine that's something Bioware fought hard for, because I am very surprised that EA willingly gave that up. Video's not being playing here. That's just the new Nvidia trailer, which showed off some pretty great mage gameplay. It's nice to get a little bit of hint of what mages will look like. We know we're going to be seeing a warrior rook in the high level combat, so hopefully we'll be seeing a mage not too far off, because mage was my main class for Inquisition, and I know it is definitely going to be my main class for Veilguard. If you want to hear about the advanced settings and options for the PC community, let's go over that now. We support a suite of ray tracing features as well as an ultra RT mode for extremely high-end rigs. Very nice. We have several types of upscaling available. NVIDIA DLSS3, FSR 2.2, which has been heavily modified, specifically for the game, and the XESS. I have no clue if you're actually meant to spell these or say these out loud. I'm just going with spelling. We also support DLSS3 with a frame generation and NVIDIA Reflex. As we have more PC features to share, we'll circle back to those before launch. Okay, so PC players, you're just getting a bit of a tease now. We'll see a little bit more just before we launch. We're inching closer to our release date of October 31st, 2024. Already booked off my annual leave. We still have more information coming on combat, the companions, exploration and more, so keep your eyes peeled on our socials. Yeah, if you've already seen, Roadmap went out recently. I did a little video on it, and that's given us a rough idea of when we'll be seeing stuff. But we also know there's probably a lot going to be happening in September and October that they haven't detailed just yet. Fingers crossed for the character creator, because I think that's what most of us want right now. We are eager to see your battle stations running Dragon Age the Veilguard and the resulting screenshots. Chat soon, the Dragon Age community team. To summarise the above, check out our overview of the PC specs and features we're ready to unveil now. So we got some of the settings. So display features, full support for 21:9 ultra wide resolutions, ability to uncap frame rate, VSync including fractional ray VSync, HDR support, optional upscaling, NVIDIA Reflex, DLS3 frame rate generation, optional dynamic resolution scaling, cinematic aspect ratio, graphical settings, presets available, low, medium, high, ultra, standard, texture settings, texture quality and texture filtering, light and shadow settings, lighting quality, contrast shadow, ambient occlusion, screen space reflections, volumetric lighting, sky quality, ray tracing settings, which has a little asterisk beside it, ray trace reflections, ray trace ambient occlusion and ultra ray tracing, geometry settings, level of details, strand hair, crane quality, terrain decoration quality, visual effects quality, camera effects, depth of field vigente, motion blur, post-processing quality and field of view, and controls, class-specific keybinds and keyboard and controller bindings. Ray tracings can be on or turned to selective. Selective mode enables ray tracing features in specific areas that can best take advantage of this feature. Okay, so ray tracing will be around for some parts of the game, but not others if you choose selective. That's handy. And then it's just related news down below. Okay, but all in all, as somebody who doesn't know a lot about PC specs or PC gaming terms, all of this does still sound really interesting and really good. I know just by even glancing at some of this, Veilguard is going to be high end to run on your PCs. So best of luck to anyone who's on PC. What do you guys think about this, especially you guys who are going to be on PC? Is Veilguard breaking the mold, or is this just a bit more standard for what is now expected of PC gaming? Are you going to be playing this on PC, or are you going to be playing this on console, or are you still undecided and maybe this is kind of pushing you in the direction of PC? Let me know down in the comments below and we'll have a bit of a discussion. Do check out the channel for more Veilguard content. I do have a breakdown of the most recent trailer, and I will most definitely have a breakdown of the high level gameplay when it comes out. And I will see you all next time.